My name is Hardini. I'm student doctoral degree in Universitas Indonesia. Together we will be your master ceremony today. First of all, thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us health, opportunity, and blessing. Because of His blessing, we are able to attend this forum to hold Accounting Research Forum.
And we would like to thank the presence of Honorable Professor Dr. Abdul Samad Nawi, Rector of Universiti Teknologi Mara, Cawangan, Kelantan.
Honorable Teguh Dartanto, PhD, Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia.
Honorable Dr. Nur Marini binti Abdullah, Head of Faculty of Accountancy, UiTM Cawangan, Kelantan.
Honorable Yulianti Abbas, PhD, Director of Department of Accounting, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia.
Honorable Professor Madya Dr. Mahiran binti Zakaria, Head of Master of Accountancy, UiTM Cawangan, Kelantan.
Honorable Desi Adariani, PhD, Head of Postgraduate Accounting, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia. Honorable Associate Professor Ratna Wardani, Universitas Indonesia.
All the reviewers, presenters, and all the participants. By saying Bismillah, let's reopen this event. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have passed the first agenda as opening, and then we turn to second agenda, singing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. For all attendants, please you take upright sitting posture in front of the monitor screen, singing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's sing the national anthem, Negaraku. For all attendances, please you take up right sitting posture in front of the monitor screen.
Accounting Research Forum is proudly held together by Universitas Indonesia and Universiti Teknologi Mara. Let's see the introduction video of both universities.
The Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Indonesia, FEBUI, is a modern, dynamic, and welcoming campus, a place to study for the nation's future leaders. Situated in two strategic locations, Depok and Salemba, we are fully committed to contribute to the development of knowledge in economics and business, and to nurture future leaders with a sense of social responsibility and the ability to address global environmental changes. For over 65 years, we have produced the country's best graduates that will potentially play important roles both in the Indonesian government and the private sector.
So my name is Thijs Hesselmans, I'm from Blanda, and one of the many things I like about Facultas Ekonomi and Business Universitas Indonesia is that the campus is really green. It's wonderful.
In the future, we are aiming to become Asia's leading economics and business learning center, which contributes to the development of Indonesia and the global community. FEBUI has three departments: the Department of Economics, the Department of Management, and the Department of Accounting.
And we are now continuing our accounting research forum to the next agenda, that is to hear welcoming speech from Honorable Professor Dr. Abdul Samad Nawi, Rector of Universiti Teknologi Mara, Cawangan, Kelantan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Dr. Abdul Samad Nawi, and the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Melati kuntum tumbuh melata. I start with the pantun, sorry. It's okay for the participant there.
Yeah.
Melati kuntum tumbuh melata, sayang merbah di pohon cemara. Assalamualaikum, mulanya kata, saya sembah pembuka bicara. This is my pantun. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, good morning. Salam UiTM di hatiku. Salam dari kampus Tanah Serendah Sekebun Bunga. Championing entrepreneurship, empowering community. Yang berusaha Mr. Teguh Dartanto, PhD, Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia. Yang berusaha Dr. Desi Adariani, Ketua Program Studi Pasca Sarjana Ilmu Accountancy, Universitas Indonesia. Yang berusaha Dr. Nur Marini Haji Abdullah, Head of Faculty of Accountancy, Universitas Teknologi Mara, Kelantan Branch, UiTM Cawangan, Kelantan. Yang berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Mahiran Zakaria, Head of Masters Accountancy Program, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Kelantan Branch, UiTM CK. Esteemed lecturers and postgraduate students from the Faculties of Accountancy, UiTM's Kelantan Branch, Malaysia, and Universitas Indonesia, UI. First of all, of course, praise to the Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, blessing and salutations upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family and companions. May Allah bless us all with his utmost love and blessings. My highest gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for we are here for Accounting Research Forum between Universitas Indonesia and Universiti Teknologi Mara, Kelantan Branch, Malaysia. Congratulations to the organizing committee led by our committee associate professor, Dr. Mahira Zakaria and Dr. Yulianti Abbas for their success in organizing this international collaboration program. And I do believe that this is going to be conducted annually, and that it will benefit us the most from the aspect, especially the benchmark of Universiti Teknologi Mara. Besides, we are lucky to announce that both universities will be signing a MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, with regards to the joint symposium soon. Compliments should also go to the faculty members and students from Universiti Teknologi Mara, Cawangan, Kelantan, and Universitas Indonesia, who have directly and indirectly played their part in the program. This is a huge collaboration with Universitas Indonesia, and I believe that by conducting such activity, our students can be at par with their counterparts from other top-ranking universities and gain valuable knowledge from the program. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this forum is to expose postgraduate students to the international webinar and boost their confidence to present at an international level. Besides, it will also strengthen the relationship between two renowned universities, UiTM or Universiti Teknologi Mara and Universitas Indonesia, in two neighboring countries, Malaysia and Indonesia. This forum targets at elevating understanding of the concept, theories, and practice in accounting research. It is also to help in recognizing current issues in this field so as to make us prepare to the future outcome or issues. participant creativity and thinking skills are challenged, and I do believe that they have worked tremendously for this program with the assistance from the respected lecturers. I'm very excited to watch the presentations from the participant, and I hope that this effort will be continuously steered in the future. There is no other platform better than this for us to explore inciting ideas from the participant. Good luck, okay, to all the participants, and may you treasure this experience as one of your wonderful moments in Universitas Indonesia and also UiTM or Universiti Tanjung Kelantan. Before I end, I would like to invite you to Malaysia, especially to Kelantan, to our campus, and to see our culture, okay, our state, and of course, our people. And allow me to share some beautiful pantones for my end speech. Ingin rasa memakan kari cendawan bersama roti, girang rasa tidak terperi, semoga kolaborasi kita berpanjangan nanti. Indah berbalam si awan petang, berarak di celah pepohon ara, pemanis kalam selamat datang, awal bismillah pembuka bicara. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Abdul Samad Nawi, for your welcoming speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to continue our accounting research forum to the next agenda, that is to hear welcoming speech from Honorable Teguh Dartanto PhD, Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Teguh Dartanto PhD. Time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our Honorable Rector of Universiti Teknologi Mara, Kelantan Branch, Malaysia, Profesor Dr. Haji Abdul Samad bin Nawi, Honorable Speaker, Associate Professor Ratnawardani, and Associate Professor Dr. Maheran Zakaria, Director of Department of Accounting, FEB UI, Head of the Graduates Program in Accounting, all organizers from the Graduates Program for Accounting, FEB UI, and UiTM, and all participants. First of all, let us thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for giving us the blessing and guiding us into the right path, and for granting all means and opportunities so we can attend this joint accounting research symposium organized by Graduate Program in Accounting, FEB UI, and UiTM. This accounting research forum is a joint event between our Graduate Program in Accounting of FEB UI and UiTM. As a joint event, we hope that there can be exchange of ideas to develop research capabilities of master and doctoral students in both universities. Students presenting in this event can enjoy the benefits of presenting their ideas in an international academic forum and receiving meaningful feedback from discussion and other participants to enhance the quality of their research proposal or articles. All participants can also gain knowledge and research ideas from our speaker. We hope all of these experiences can also support the publication of students' research papers, not only to fulfill the requirements to graduate, but more than that, to contribute broadly to the knowledge production through research and publication in a global setting. We appreciate the time and effort provided by the committees, speaker, student presenter, and discussions in organizing this research symposium. We hope that this event can also facilitate further research collaboration as well as academic events in the future to develop research capabilities of students and lecturers in the both institutions. I welcome you all to join Accounting Research Symposium and hope you enjoy and gains many benefit in the term of knowledge and research ideas. Thank you very much. Enjoy the symposium. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for welcoming speech, Mr. Teguh Datanto, PhD.
And now it's time for having a photo session together. So please, all the audiences, to turn on the camera, and our officer will do a screenshot as a photo shoot. Please, everybody, turn on the camera. In the counting of 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I think we can proceed. And ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to discuss the topic of today, conducted by Associate Professor Ratna Wardani from Universitas Indonesia as our speaker. And topic of general lecture will be research on sustainability strategy in Indonesia and Malaysia palm oil industry. Would you please join me in welcoming Associate Professor Ratna Wardani? The screen is yours.
Thank you very much, MC. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi, Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati dan kami banggakan. I'm very happy to be here with all of you, sharing my journey, my experience regarding to the research and also publication. And I really hope that we can share ideas, and also perhaps we can also share ideas on collaboration between the two universities. Okay, as mentioned by the MC before, I would like to present one of our research. The topic of the research is on sustainability and especially in palm oil industry, which is very related with Indonesia and Malaysia. As you might all know that Indonesia and Malaysia have quite a huge market share of palm oil in the global market. And this research was the idea of this research is come from the concern of the public about the sustainability issues in this industry. Okay, in this slide, I would like to show you a picture of a palm oil plantation, which I'm not sure whether this is in Indonesia or in Malaysia, but as you can see here, there is a lot of concern about the environment and also related to the social issues. Okay, this research was written by myself and Mr. Yan Rahadian. Unfortunately, Mr. Yan Rahadian cannot attend this event. We are from the Department of Accounting, Faculty of Economy and Business, Universitas Indonesia. Okay, this is the content of the presentation. I would like to share a little bit about the publication journey and also the content of the paper. The content of the paper include introduction, motivation and research objective, novelty, theory and literature review, and one of the quite interesting story in this paper is about development of palm oil industry in Indonesia and Malaysia. And one of the novelty of this research is on research methodology, since this research developed a framework in evaluating the sustainability strategy in palm oil industry. So I will share a little bit more on the methodology issue, and then I will discuss the analysis and discussion and also conclusion. Okay, this is the publication journey. This research was fully funded by Ministry of Research and Technology or National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia through the Higher Education Basic Research Grant. The original title of this grant was Sustainability Strategy for the Palm Oil Plantation Industry in Indonesia, the Exploration of Stakeholders' Perception. We were planning on doing the questionnaire and also interview to the stakeholders of the palm oil industry in Indonesia, but due to COVID-19 pandemic, where there is a limitation to going to outside the city at that moment, this research plan was changed from the questionnaire and also interview to quantitative analysis using the sustainability report. And since the plan was changed, and not many of Indonesian company that are listed in the stock market which publish sustainability report, then we expand the research scope not only in Indonesia but also Malaysia. Okay, the publication timeline, this article received by Sustainability Accounting Management and Policy Journal in 21 July 2020, revised in October. So we have so many comments and take quite of time to revise and address all the comments, and it was accepted on January 10, 2022. Yeah. So this research was published in one of Q1 Scopus journal. It was the high index was 34, and the rank was quartile 1 in business management and accounting, and quartile 2 in renewable energy, sustainability, and environment. Okay, that's the publication journey. And I would like to discuss more on the content of this research. I believe all of you already download the article and read a little bit about this article. You might all know the palm oil is most widely used product. If you are a woman, yeah, all the cosmetic that we all use basically use palm oil as one of the content of the product. In our kitchen, for example, use also palm oil for cooking, for food processing, for cosmetic, yeah, for oleochemical, and even for fuel. Yeah, biodiesel, for example, the main ingredient of biodiesel is from palm oil. So global palm oil production basically growing rapidly, especially in Southeast Asia. And Indonesia and Malaysia is one of the biggest producer in the global market. So far, from the World Bank and IFC database, Indonesia and Malaysia is the two biggest producer in this industry for developing, of course. Palm oil plantation in Indonesia and Malaysia prompted a debate in another side. In another side, it prompted a debate about the sustainability and also environmental issues. So, one of the environmental and also from the social issues. The environmental impact of the industry, for example, regarding the tropical forest ecosystem, threats to forest species, loss of biodiversity, decrease in high carbon stock forests, reduce area that have high conservation value, and also soil and water implication and greenhouse gas emissions. The social impact is also important. It relates to the welfare of the surrounding community, economic inequality, wealth distribution, labor issue related to worker safety and health, right of the indigenous people, access to ownership of land, and marginalization of small communities. So, what is the motivation of this research? According to Epstein and Roy 2001, the importance of formulating sustainability strategies has been recognized by the company's manager. However, in its implementation, converting the basic principle of sustainability into concrete action is often challenging, especially in high-sensitive industries such as palm oil plantation industry. Previous research on implementing the sustainability strategy was quite limited, especially in specific industry such as palm oil. So the objectives of this strategy aim to explore sustainability strategy in specific industry, which is palm oil industry. We use 6 elements, namely stakeholders engagement, governance and leadership, sustainability view, and operational strategies such as economic, environmental, and social strategy of Indonesian and Malaysian palm oil companies. What is the novelty of this research? The first novelty was that this research focused on Indonesia and Malaysia, which are the largest palm oil producer globally and currently in the spotlight due to environmental aspect affected by palm oil industry's development. As you might know, Indonesian and Malaysian palm oil product banned in Europe, banned in Europe, and many countries ban palm oil from developing countries such as Indonesia and Malaysia due to sustainability issues. So basically, this research focused on the country that are in the developing country, and which are the largest producer of palm oil. Second, this study developed a sustainability strategy measurement framework by not only elaborating operational sustainability strategies such as economic, environmental, and social strategies, but also incorporating stakeholders engagement, governance and leadership, and strategic view in the sustainability strategy. Third, this study used publicly available information, namely annual report and sustainability report, which from previous studies stated that publicly available information in some point have less bias compared to primary data. Yeah. Fourth, this research use qualitative analysis, which can provide an overview of best practice for companies' sustainability strategies. Okay, that's are the novelty of the research. Theory and literature review. Basically, this research use three grand theory, which are stakeholders theory, institutional theory, and resource-based theory. Stakeholders theory defines stakeholders as all group of individual who influence or are influenced by the company. So basically, using this theory, we want to explore how the company make engagement with the stakeholders. Institutional theory, an organization needs to adapt itself to surrounding demand, including its institutional context. Institution represent a rule, laws, code, tradition, and perception that will influence the company behavior and policy. Resource-based theory, as we all know, sustainability related to resource. Hudson explained that firms are viewed as collection of various resources. Resources are everything unique, precious, irreplaceable, and also limited to the company. And as I mentioned before, one of the novelty of this research is a development of a framework. Yeah. Based on the previous study, we developed a framework of sustainability strategy. Basically, framework developed in this research rely on stakeholders engagement first. Yeah, the framework, the basic of the framework, the basic of sustainability strategy is on the stakeholders engagement, with which the stakeholders engagement will create a good governance and also a good leadership. And both of governance and stakeholders engagement will form a strategic view of the company on the sustainability issues. After the company have good stakeholders engagement, good governance and leadership, and also have a strategic view, they can come up with the operational strategy. So basically, when we talk about the sustainability strategy, we are not only talking about the operational strategy only, not only talking about the economic strategy, the environmental strategy, or social strategy only, but we also have to talk about the basic of the operational strategy, which is the stakeholders engagement, governance and leadership, and strategic view. The operational strategy will collaborate each other, economic, environmental, and social strategy. This all of the part of the strategy will relate to the sustainability strategy of the company. This framework basically does not explain a causal relationship, but shows that all the framework elements must support each other in implementing the sustainability strategy. A sustainability strategy that can incorporate all these elements will provide a long-term value for the company. Okay, that's the theoretical framework that are used in the paper. And next, we're going to talk about the development of palm oil industry in Indonesia and Malaysia. As you can see in this slide, Indonesia and Malaysia have a huge percentage of market share of palm oil production in the world. Indonesia itself possesses about 56% of the market share of CPO production, and Malaysia possesses 27.7%. So Indonesia and Malaysia itself possess more than 80% of CPO production in the world. So basically, the development of palm oil industry in Indonesia and Malaysia is very significant, and the growth is very strong since the colonial period even. Yeah, the growth of the palm oil production from 2004 up to 2018 is 6.8% per year. Yeah, and compared to other products such as soybean oil production, for example, which the growth is lower than palm oil production. The growth of soybean oil production is 3.2%, so half of the palm oil production growth. Okay. And in the third figure here, it's describe the growth of the Indonesia and Malaysia production. Yeah. Indonesia and Malaysia production during 2004 up to 2018. So you can see the increasing pattern, yeah, of the production trend from the Indonesia and Malaysia palm oil or CPO production. Okay. That's the short story, yeah, of the development of Indonesia and Malaysia palm oil industry, and we move to the research method. As I mentioned before, one of the contribution of this research is on developing the research method. First, in the sample and observation, yeah, number of sample and observation, we use a listed company in palm oil industry. In Indonesia, we only have 21 palm oil company. In Malaysia, there are 44, so the total is 65. And the number observation, since it used several years of observation, the number observation, the total is 325 document, and we have several unavailable or inaccessible and incomplete annual report and sustainability report. So the total sample is 280 company, and the year observation is from 2014 up to 2018. So this is the total sample. This study used explorative qualitative method. We use a directed approach as one of the content analysis approach suggested by Hayes and Shannon 2005. In using the directed approach, the text will be analyzed using predetermined indicators and keywords. This study used NVivo software to conduct content analysis. So the framework developed in this research basically come from several previous study. You can read the detail of the previous study in my paper. Basically, we developed several indicators from the 6 elements that we use. We then develop about 40 indicators and identify keyword and assessment guideline for each of the indicators. The first element is stakeholders engagement. In the stakeholders engagement, we have about 6 indicators. For example, does company state an importance of understanding the need of stakeholders to achieve business sustainability? Does the company leader, board, or CEO stated that they are committed, yeah, and how their effort in carrying out the stakeholders engagement? does the company identify stakeholders based on certain stakeholders identification methodology, 3 most important stakeholders, and does the company carry out stakeholders engagement strategy, and also does it carry out regularly, the frequency of the stakeholders engagement. And in governance and leadership, we have seven indicators. For example, statement of BOD, responsible for company strategic direction and its highest governing body, vision and mission, values and culture, short, medium, long-term plan, sustainability organ, committees, for example, and also it is important to identify whether the company have internal and external initiative related to sustainability. In this industry, there are requirements about the sustainability certification, such as RSPO, ESPO in Indonesia, and MSPO in Malaysia. And also we also identify the external initiatives such as International Sustainability and Carbon Certification, ISO 26000, and also ISO about environmental. And in strategic view, we identify about 5 indicators, strategic priorities, key topics, key event, achievement. Does the company explain and or analyze economic, social, and environmental performance by comparing to its target? Main challenge, identify the main challenge, the importance of risk and opportunities. And for the operational strategy, which consists of 3 pillars of strategy, economic, environmental, and social. In economic, we identify 6 indicators. Does the company present strategy for achieving the economic performance? Market presence, indirect economic impact, standard operating procedure related to the procurement activities, anti-corruption, competition with competitors, and anti-competitive behavior. These 6 elements, 6 indicators represent element of economic strategy. And in environmental strategy, we have 8 indicators. First, for example, does the company have policy to choose raw materials for production and packaging from renewable materials? And the second is related to energy. Does the company have policy to save energy and use renewable energy? The third is about water, water management, water saving program, and the fourth is about biodiversity, and the fifth indicators is about carbon emission, effluent waste in 6 indicators, and in the indicator number 7 is about whether the company have environmental violation case, and evaluating supplier according to environmental criteria is the 8th indicator. And the last one is on the social strategy. In social strategy, we have also 8 indicators. The first one is about employee structure based on diversification, based on age, sex, education, and so on, and whether the company have policy providing equal opportunity and anti-discrimination, and also related to the company's relation to their workforce, policy related to occupational health and safety, training, employee union, strategy to provide right of local communities. So basically, indicator 1 up to indicator 5 is related to the relation to the employee, and indicator number 6 and also up to 7 is related to local community. CSR program, whether the company perform CSR program to empower the local community. And the last one is, does the company have policy in evaluating supplier according to social criteria? Okay, that's the main indicators that we are used in evaluating the sustainability strategy. So the next one is analysis and discussion. First, I would like to present the descriptive statistic about the sample. As I mentioned before, we use about 21 Indonesian company and 44 Malaysian company, and the total is 65 companies in the sample. If we compare, we can see that the total area of the sample is not more than 50% of the total planted area of the two countries. For example, here, the 21 Indonesia companies possess 1.50 area of the Indonesian Indonesia is 12.5. So the percentage is quite small here, and Malaysia, the percentage is quite high. So most of the palm oil plantation in Malaysia is covered by basically listed company, that we have the information on sustainability report and annual report. Okay, the total CPO production of the sample compared to total,
10 minutes more.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Thank you, Ibu. Makasih.
Yeah, so the if we can see the comparison here, more than 1/3 of the total CPO production is possessed from our sample. Next is our analysis. We use also a word count analysis. If we take a look on the key word on each element, the keyword of each element, the total keyword of each element here is only 3.14% of the compared to all the word in each report of the company. Stated that not much of sustainability issue are covered in the report of the company. In content analysis, content analysis for sustainability strategy framework element. First, on stakeholders engagement, only 15 out of 280 observation, or 5.4%, consistently revealed all 6 aspects sought in this study. The 15 observation come from 9 companies in palm oil industry. This result indicate only a few companies have significant commitment to carrying out stakeholders engagement. Only the first indicator, the importance of stakeholders in achieving business sustainability, has disclosure percentage above 50%. And other indicators, all other indicators are below 30%. Even for indicators 6, stakeholders engagement was carried out regularly, it less than 20%. The interesting finding in this research is that main stakeholders identified by palm oil industry include shareholders, investor, fund providers, employee, customer, government, and supplier. Unfortunately, local community is not identified as the main stakeholders in this industry. Yeah. This result shows that companies in Indonesia and Malaysia are still at the stage of understanding the importance of stakeholders engagement, but have not implemented in formulating a sustainability strategy. Governance and leadership, only 2 out of 280 observation consistently reveal the 6 aspects considered in this strategy. The research also showed that some indicators have disclosure percentage more than 50%, while other indicators are below 50%. Even for indicators about the external and internal initiative related to sustainability, it less than 20%. As I mentioned before, the external initiatives such as RSPO, ESPO, and MSPO basically are mandatory in this industry. This research indicate that palm oil company in Indonesia and Malaysia have strategic leadership, making sustainability part of their strategic direction. This result also indicate that many companies do not yet have a sustainability organ in highest governance body and do not have sustainability committee. Strategic view, only 2 out of 280 observation consistently revealed the 5th aspect of the strategic view. Each component of strategic view so that almost all indicators are below 30%. Except indicator 2, it's about disclosure of key event, achievement, and value in sustainability activities, which is above 30%. This result shows that very few companies have strategic view of sustainability issue. Few companies revealed that strategic priorities related to sustainability issues and analyze performance achievement in comparison with target. The low strategic view is also reflected in a small number of companies that disclose the risk and opportunity related to sustainability. Economic strategy, this research shows that no observation revealed all the economic strategy indicator. Each component of the economic strategy shows that indicators are below 20% and most even below 10%. The result shows that palm oil company only focus or still focus on achieving financial performance and has not explained how that performance is achieved. Moreover, several aspects such as market presence, good system and procedure, anti-corruption culture, and anti-competitive behavior have also not being widely applied by companies, nor have indirect economic impact being expressed. Most of the company disclose quantitative monetary information, company's position in context of minimum wage, the proportion of management from local community, SOP, and general specific and detailed anti-corruption policy, and it is part of the code of conduct. Environmental strategy, no observation revealed all environmental strategy indicators. In general, number of companies that disclose environmental strategy indicator is greater than number of companies that disclose economic strategy. However, the proportion is still less than 50%. This study indicates that company pay attention to carbon emission issues, effluent and waste, water management, biodiversity, energy, and environmental management certification. However, the sample company did not pay attention to material supplier compliance in applying sustainability in environmental aspect. This result implies that palm oil companies focus on environmental strategy for a major environmental issues only. And in social strategy, the result show that some indicator were revealed in more than 30% in the total observation. Attention to occupational health and safety issue, empowering communities through corporate CSR program, diversity and anti-discrimination commitment, and employee training have received a great attention from employee and local community. Okay, the conclusion, implication, limitation, and suggestion for future research. The results indicate.
You have 1 minute more.
Okay, only this slide. Yeah. This is the last slide, I think. Yeah, the study result indicate that stakeholder engagement, governance, and leadership strategic view of palm oil companies in Indonesia and Malaysia are still likely to be weak. Palm oil companies have not demonstrated their focus on implementing economic, environmental, and social strategy. Although the results indicate that there are a greater emphasis on environmental and social than on economic issue, attention to both issues are still very low. The implication, this research imply that palm oil company must improve their strategy, and the importance of implication it is to improve companies' disclosure for sustainability issues by integrating sustainability to the business strategy. Basically, company can create a sustainable competitive advantage in the long term. Limitation. We are aware that many limitations in this research. First is on the subjectivity in determining indicators and keywords. We use a public company as sample, which might not represent the whole palm oil industry, given that most of the palm oil companies are small companies and private companies. Limitation embedded in use content analysis. For research, we suggest that to reduce subjectivity by using more comprehensive indicators, use a triangulate research method such as qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method. Observe a larger number of palm oil company in 2 countries, including companies that are not listed on the stock market, and perhaps by conducting interview or direct observation. That's all my presentation. I would like to invite feedback and discussion from the audience, and your comment is very welcome. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Associate Professor Ratnawardhani. So now we're going to the next agenda, which is question and answer. So everybody can raise your hand or can ask question in the chat room. So now we have a question right now by Dr. Myra Zakaria, which she stated that, or why the researchers chose Malaysian companies more than Indonesian companies.
Why do we choose the Malaysian company more than Indonesian company? Yeah, because the availability of the data basically more Malaysian companies that are listed in the stock exchange, more Malaysian company in the palm oil industry that are listed in stock exchange compared to Indonesian company, since we have to use secondary data such as annual report and sustainability report, which usually published by listed company only. Yeah, not many unlisted company or private company publish sustainability report actually, and by the data, Malaysian company have more palm oil company that are listed in their stock market. So it's not researcher preference to choose more Malaysian company compared to Indonesian company, but related to the availability of the data.
Okay.
I hope that answered the question. Yes.
Okay. Maybe we can open for another questions from the participants.
Ili, maybe if there's no one asks, maybe we can ask some question, Ibu Ratna.
Yeah.
The question will be like, how we can evaluate the stakeholders' engagement by only from the disclosure, Ibu? Evaluate the stakeholders by disclosure, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good question. If we rely on secondary data, basically we cannot explore the real fact. Yeah, we can only explore what is being disclosed by the company. I think that is the main limitation, yeah, by using the secondary data. We are aware that this is the one of the biggest limitation in this research, since we cannot real observe, yeah. We cannot observe the real situation or the real indication of the, for example, stakeholders engagement. We only rely on the information that are being disclosed by the company. But from the previous study, it is also stated that somehow using the secondary data provide less bias compared to primary data. So there are pro and cons, yeah. By identify or using the secondary or primary data, there are advantage and disadvantage. Yeah. So basically, we develop the framework and indicators in stakeholders engagement based on several literature. Yeah, one of the information that we are used in developing the construct is from, for example, from GRI. Yeah, GRI use several aspects of the sustainability or stakeholders engagement. Yeah, for example, we identify stakeholders engagement element. First is stakeholders need, board commitment, method of engagement, key stakeholders, strategy of engagement, and frequency of engagement. It is being explained in GRI standard and also from accountability stakeholders engagement standard. So basically in stakeholders engagement, we develop the indicator based on these two main standard that usually used by the company in making the sustainability report. The first is stakeholders engagement standard published by accountability. And the second is the GRI standard, which also explain about the stakeholders engagement process. Yeah. So the company must explain, basically in their sustainability report, they must explain how they engage with the stakeholders. What are their main stakeholders? How are the method of engagement? How the frequency of engagement? What are the issues that each stakeholders is concerned? Yeah, so basically based on this the indicator, we want to explore the extensive of the stakeholders engagement. Gitu Mbak Ardini. So basically there are trade-off ya using secondary and primary data.
Thank you, Ibu Ratna, for the explanation, because several of our attendees today is from International Society Sustainability Professionals, ISSP atau ISSP. So this topic will be interesting for them. the ISSP friends. Yeah. Thank you, Ibu.
Okay, thank you, Associate Professor Ratnawardhani. We may proceed to the next session, but before that, Tuan Rector, you may stay in this forum if you don't have any matters. So now we can proceed to the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Ratna. Now,
Terima kasih.
ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for student presentation. So for the first opportunity on this accounting research forum, doctoral students from Universitas Indonesia, my dear colleague, Mrs. Valentina Tohang, will present her paper entitled The Link Between ESG Performance and Earnings Quality. Would you please welcome Mrs. Valentina Tohang? Session is yours.
Thank you very much, Mbak Dini. So good morning, professors and colleagues. Allow me to start with my presentation. Let me just share screen.
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Valentina, we will inform you that your session will be 15 minutes and then
Okay.
continue by reviewer 15 minutes. Thank you.
All right. So once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Valentina Tohang. I'm the doctoral student from the University of Indonesia. In this lovely morning, I'm going to present my paper titled The Link Between ESG Performance and Earnings Quality. So this paper is basically my final project in one of my doctoral class. So I trust this is still to be improved. So I'm very open to comments and discussions after my presentation. Right. So this paper will be outlined 1 to 6, as you can see in my slide. As we are all aware of, the firm's social practices have been long-standing and are accepted due to their ethical obligation. It is also viewed as managers' moral imperative. Started with that in mind, I also look at the two clusters of the perspective of CSR. There has been an instrumental perspective of CSR discussed by previous study in which it is stated that opportunistic and narcissistic behavior, such as managerial entrenchment, might decouple the functions of CSR. The opportunistic managers use CSR to camouflage their irresponsible activities like the earnings management. And there have also been studies that stated that stewardship considers sustainability implementation as engagement in sustainability. So based on these two perspectives, basically I'm looking at the possibility that this negative and positive associations indicate the diverse impact of CSR on the earnings quality. So that was initially the first thought that came in mind after reading all these studies. And secondly, or I would say, however, the previous earnings quality studies only discuss on the earnings quality itself without specifically examining the two factors that might also be possible measures of the earnings quality. Study by Francis and Rizai, as you can see on my slide, mentioned there are two factors of the earnings quality. The first one is what it is called as the inherent aspects or the innate determinant of the business that is basically impacted by or basically influenced by the business model or the operating environment of the business. While the second one is called discretionary determinant, which is related to the management decisions of reporting, the systems, the standard setting, governance, and so on. Previous study of the show and the chef also used this approach of measurements in order to see the earnings quality more deeper. This approach also being able to give more clarity in determining the short and long-term effects of the earnings quality. With those two, then I started to also look at the recent studies or the recent development surrounding the CSR itself. There have been lots of change in the emerging issues related to the CSR. However, the corporate actions also emphasize the other important aspects besides only the environment itself or the social itself. So that's why lots of people are actually looking at the three things, which is the environmental, social, and governance, or known as the ESG. Knowing that CSR and ESG practices also prone to do those opportunistic, narcissistic, or what I mentioned as entrenchment, this study will explore the different perspective of earnings quality by examining the determinants of earnings quality using the two factors or the two perspectives, and specifically in the digital related industry. Why digital industry? Because I think everyone knows that this is a very fast-paced digital change related industry, of course, in which the characteristics of the industries might also have lots of fast change related to the business model, operating environment, as well as the risk of the business. Hence, my research question is on how does ESG performance associated with the innate and discretionary earnings quality of the communication services industries in Asia? Found that, or I trust the research gap is that the study will fill in the gap related to ESG performance studies in conjunction with earnings quality, especially in the extremely fast-paced change of the digital industries, since the industry is very competitive. I expect that this study will also can contribute to the four things that I have listed down on my slide. First, as previously mentioned, specifically on the industry itself. Secondly, I would like to see also based on the two factors of the earnings quality. I will also look at each components of the ESG. So I will later on look at individual components such as environment, social, and governance to be able to see which part of the ESG that contribute more on the earnings quality or the importance of the earnings quality. Understood that there have been extensive studies of the CSR performance and earnings management with the international samples, but based on the literature that I've done, only few have discussed ESG performance as a proxy for this sustainable. And knowing that Asia is very, I would say, still lots of issues that can be discussed. So I believe that the study will also contribute or enhance the current studies. The theories that I'm using in the studies are two, which are the stakeholder and agency theory. Why these two theories? Basically, based on what I introduced at the beginning, that there has been two perspectives of the environmental, social, governance related, which is the good side of it, as well as the opportunistic part of it. And this led my hypothesis development. But I think I will not go into much details on these prior studies related because I've mentioned briefly also in the background, considering the time that I have only 15 minutes. So I will just skip some parts of the reviews that I've done. But in order for me to go with the hypothesis development, I also looked at different clusters of the studies. The recent studies of FEB 2019 actually have looked at ESG related to the accruals or discretionary earnings management. However, they're not looking at the real earnings management. The real earnings management mostly might also be related to some of the inherent risk or the innate determinants that I've mentioned in the beginning. Other studies with this green color that you can see in the box also look at the ESG and state that ESG performance also have better earnings quality as it reduces the manager's opportunistic and unethical doings. So I see that by these two boxes, most of the previous ESG studies also show that ESG can have relationship with the earnings quality, earnings quality. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, a little bit freeze.
Someone say something.
Previous Valen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or my
More, yeah, Valen.
connection is it unstable? Okay, let me
Yes,
close my video then. Test. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better now, Valen.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Sorry for that. So I'll continue with my next explanation. So previously I mentioned that some studies also discuss how ESG related to discretionary accruals or the discretionary parts of the reporting side. However, most of the studies said that yes, it is possibly that management do this earnings management related to by using the discretionary accruals. Some other studies that I highlight here also alert that the exhibit of greenwashing acts also may induce firms or managers manipulation to suit their opportunistic behavior. So managers may discretionarily use their information to fit with their short-term financial goals. As you can see in the purple one, I also would like to emphasize that their previous study also mentioned that the clear criteria are not established in order to evaluate and compensate social stewardship performance. Because of this, Felte mentioned that this might also lead to the possible inconclusiveness explained by the use of distinct ESG scoring. So different proxies are used, different angles of the earnings quality studies, and heterogeneous theoretical fundamentals. So I'm looking at this and come with my hypothesis development. So here in this,
Valentina, 5 minutes more, yeah.
Okay, so I'll skip this part, but in this part, I basically try to explain the relationship with the digital industry. My first hypothesis development stated with the fact that even though previous studies show that the ESG performance increases company performance and firm value, there have been drawbacks come with it. Hence, my first hypothesis stated that the ESG performance is negatively associated with discretionary accruals, hence higher earnings quality. While on the second hypothesis, I stated that the ESG performance is positively associated with innate earnings quality, hence higher earnings quality. The third and the fourth hypothesis basically is how I individually test on the component of the ESG. So later on, I will test on each of the environment, social, and governance. For the research methodology, I'm using the quantitative method. From the 4,900-ish companies, I came up with only 79 publicly listed telecommunication services company in Asia using 5 years, so gives me 316 firm year of observations. I'm using this model in order to be able to determine the EQ. So for the innate earnings quality, I use the predicted EQ, And as for the discretionary accrual, I use the residual using the model of the Shell-Dishef. Sorry. And details after I calculate the predicted and the residual, I put that into my regression. So as for the regression, the model are as follows. Yeah, so I look at the relationship between the ESG here with the discretionary and ESG with the innate earnings quality. And the last one is how I differentiate between each of component as listed here. The result shows as follows. I'm just going to go straight to the regression result. So I've tested for the outliers. I've also tested for the heteroscedasticity and the multicollinearity. And as for the regression test, it turns that ESG has a positive relationship with the discretionary accrual and also have a negative significant relationship with the innate determinant. This result suggests that a better ESG score in these industries is associated with higher discretionary accruals due to possible opportunistic reasons that may promote agency conflict between managers and shareholders in alteration of accounting numbers, and it may lead to the low quality of the report. And this impact in the long run, as reflected in the innate, shows that there has been negative association between ESGs and performance and innate earnings quality. It means that ESG is also associated with inherent operating environment uncertainty in these digital industries. This might be happen because of the pressures from the industries as previously discussed in the literature, facing extremely fast-paced changes in the digital transformation and the markets that are striving in this unpredictable digital growth. This shows or this emphasizes that in the long run, the symbolic ESG practices, which is prone to greenwashing in this industry, will negatively impact the inherent earnings quality that is different by drive by the operating environment and uncertainty risk of the business model. As for the individual,
1 minute more.
Okay, will do. I think I missed one slide here, but as for the fourth and the fifth hypothesis, I found that the one that is contribute significantly is the social aspect. So the social aspect is positively associated with both innate and discretionary quality. This can be explained by the fact that the sustainability reputations of the telecommunication industry is considered competitive. The inherent social risks in the communication services industries are related to the information security and privacy, since the companies are dealing with people's data and that can be misused. This study altogether reveals that ESG performance is positively associated with discretionary accruals and negatively associated with innate earnings quality. As mentioned previously, this effect in long term will also harm the company. And how I also highlight that social aspect is one of the important things that needs to be looked at. As my recommendations, this data in this study is limited to only 79 samples companies from 18 countries rated by ESG. I see this might not be sufficient due to the potential bias of the limited representative numbers of companies. However, I have included all the companies with ESG performance ratings. In order to improve this study can be extended to capture a comparison between different industries, since the previous study also highlights the unique character of other industries or different industries that are sensitive to ESG as well as innate and discretionary quality. I guess that's all from me. Thank you very much for the time. I return the floor to MC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mrs. Valentina Tohang. Next, we will listen to the review by Dr. Farahiyah Akmal binti Matnawi from Universiti Teknologi Mara. Time is yours,
Thank you
Dr.
very
Farahiyah.
much.
The session will
Thank
be in 10
you.
minutes. Doctor, 10 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the very interesting presentation. Okay, so first of all, basically this issue is quite new for me, ESG, okay, environmental, social and governmental issues. Okay, for the introduction, could you please explain what is the difference between the concept of the concept of CSP, corporate social practice, and corporate social responsibility? So what's the difference between these two main concepts?
Okay, so basically, Professor, the corporate social practices more broader. So people use this term in order to show that they've done many or various types of the practices. But the social responsibilities, I guess that was more on the things like when people care about the social, the environment, they do things together. However, this concept is not embedded with what comes with ESG itself, environment, social, and governance altogether. So I would say that corporate social practices is just a big terms in order to say that company have done social practices. So it can be related to social responsibilities or ESG and so on.
Okay, thank you very much. And okay, since not everybody are aware about this topic, so my suggestion is for your research topic, you should write the ESG in full. Instead of you write the ESG in short form, maybe you can write it as environmental, social, and governmental issues, then in bracket ESG for the title. Okay, this is just my suggestion. Okay,
Noted.
my next concern is, so since you are focusing on the environmental stability issues, okay, you are concentrating on discussing the internal and external roles to maintain the positive outcomes towards the organization's earning quality. So, so basically how the society perceive this issue? Did you provide any feedback from the society towards this issue?
Okay. The feedback from the society, as in, you mean the background of the studies, how society look at these issues? Is that what you're saying? Sorry?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I was looking at the angle of how the company try to fulfill their responsibilities in order to make sure that they can give in terms of stakeholder theory, yeah? So they can also fulfill their responsibilities to the stakeholders. So part of the stakeholders is actually the society itself. So the society look at this nowadays, especially in Indonesia, I'd say that the society perspective is not one of the focus. The society is one of the community or the part that will be highly impacted, such as, for example, when there is environmental issues, when there has been disasters, when there has been environmental problems, then society is the one who is being harmed by these issues.
Yes, agree.
However, I trust that these things are not really the focus as much when it comes to the ESG, because we still look, or the companies still look at it as how they can make the shareholders happy. That's why lots of studies of ESG is mostly surrounded the shareholders perspectives rather than the society perspective or the other stakeholder perspective. So this is still the issues that I think is there.
Then do you agree that basically not all the organizations are required to practice the ESG practice in the organization? Do you agree?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I also have other studies in my other course, the accounting management with Ibu Desi, and then I'm looking at the same topic, but I was looking at the business strategy business orientations, and the ESG. So the company might have strategy, but when their orientation is not towards the sustainability orientation, then the result is not there. So by saying that, I would say that I do not agree with that. Everything has to be aligned. But I think that is also very interesting how Bu Ratna Wardani, even though she's looking at a certain palm oil industries, but we can also see that the importance is there. And knowing that this issue is been everywhere with the SDGs, that is also very hype, then I think we really have to go towards there.
Okay, based on your hypothesis number 3 and hypothesis number 4, okay, you are combining the 3 pillars of ESG in one hypothesis. Why? You are combining the 3 pillars of ESG in one hypothesis. I'm suggesting you are separating the pillar into a different hypothesis so that you can identify which pillar is contributing most towards your study.
Yeah, totally agree, Miss Professor. I think that was me before with my limited time of doing the final project. So I take note on that, and I will also attend that.
Okay, thank you. Next, based on your table number 2, in your report slide number 21. Okay.
Yeah.
Table number 2, slide number 21. Sorry, report number 21. Okay, look at on the second column. First column, you have country.
Yeah.
Second column is number of country. This is quite confusing.
Okay.
Are you sure this is numbers of country or numbers of maybe target
Oh,
organization?
sorry. Yes, my bad. So that is the country and number of companies in that country. My typo.
Yes.
Thank you for the very tedious review.
Okay, thank
Very
you.
much.
Okay, next is based on your conclusion. Last paragraph, last page on your report, page number, sorry, I can't find the page. Oh, 26 for the conclusion. Okay, for the conclusion, you are highlighting in terms of the individual contributions toward ESG.
Yeah.
Okay, you are focusing on the managerial as the individual behavior towards the ESG pillar.
Okay.
Okay, now you are discussing in terms of the organization's context, not the individual context.
Okay.
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 You get what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you should revise this paragraph maybe.
Okay. Okay. So I was looking at that back to the theory that there have been opportunistic managers' behavior. So probably I have to rephrase that part so it still reflects the companies instead of the managers as an individual. Is that what you're saying? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're supposed to highlight in terms of the organization's context instead of the individual context from the organization perspective, not from the individual perspective.
Okay.
Kindly remember, Dr. Farahia, 1 minute more.
Okay, so I guess that will be my last question. Thank you so much for the presentation and thank you for the sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your presentation, Mrs. Valentina Tohang, and also for your review and feedback, Dr. Farahia.
Thank you.
Okay, next we will listen to the presentation of the second speaker, student from Universiti Teknologi Mara, Madam Siti Mazia, with paper entitled A Thematic Study of Corporate Zakat Payment from 2017 to 2022, the application of Atlas.ti9. The screen is yours, Madam Siti Mazia, and you have 15 minutes for your presentation.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Thank you, Mrs. Chairperson. Can you get my sharing? Is it okay? Is it okay for my sharing?
Yes, okay. Okay, madam.
In full screen. Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning for all, especially to UI and also Universiti Teknologi Mara, Kelantan, Malaysia. Okay, so today I am Siti Mazia binti Haji Abdul Rahman from Doctor of Business Administration, Part 5. And today I am going to present for my paper, which my supervisor, TS Dr. Khalid bin Abdul Wahid, and the title for the paper, my paper, which entitled as a thematic study of a corporate zakat payment from 2017 to 2020, the implication of Atlas DI9. Okay, let's move to the discussion. Okay, today I would like to touch for the first is introduction, the second is a little bit of literature reviews, and the third part is about the methodology, the fourth is about the finding and conclusion, and the last is we will look about the conclusion and discussion. Okay, so not to waste our time, let's go for the introduction first. Okay, as we know, the zakat is a religious of obligations that's aimed to assist the poor and needy, and also, as we know, as a Muslim, we must fulfill the zakat as a religious obligation. And for your information, under zakat, we have two types of zakat. Is a zakat for the individual and also zakat al-mal. And the zakat al-mal was consists of so many types of zakat, especially for the zakat on business. And under the business zakat, a subset of business zakat is a corporate zakat, where the corporate zakat means is a zakat that should be paid on the proceed of the business asset, whether the best based on the production, the mining, the shipping, the suppliers, the agriculture, the facilities, and also so many more side of business, and also the business, and also the part of the corporate aim for the businesses or the such for the purpose of the trading is according to Tajuddin and Muhammad 2019. And for this zakat on business, as also the zakat of corporate zakat, we proceed for the focus on to look the what is the thematics for the study and also the previous study. So however, there are so many discussion and previous study, but however, there are no clear direction on the current issue and also the factors that influence the business zakat, especially in corporate zakat. For your information, in Malaysia, a majority of the paper focuses the obligation of the zakat, especially to the individual, and also look at the perspective of the zakat from the zakat management perspective. Therefore, a limited and a less well researched limited study about the paper about the business prospect and also the business focuses for business zakat. Therefore, these papers try to look at the underpin to identify the issues and also the factor that discussed in the business zakat published paper from the 2017 to 2020. And the study also would like to discover the trend of the business zakat in the in the search engines, the Scopus database, and therefore the research question is what are the current trend of business and what is the thematic business zakat or corporate zakat that's being discussed in the literature from 2017 to 2022. And for the literature review, okay, we move to the literature review. I just to mention here about the term of thematic review by using the application of Atlas DI as the tool introduced by Zarul 2020 and also Ellen 2022, and they use and the previous research is used because this study methodology incorporates the thematics analysis into all the literature review by search engine Scopus database. And according to Clark and Brown 2013, the thematic analysis actually tried to identify the pattern and also develop themes through extensive reading on the subject. And the study try to determine the pattern and create the category to comprehend about the corporate zakat publication trends. And the research, this study is intended to analyze and interpret the findings to make recommendation for futures in the corporate zakat field. And for your information, according to Barhaj et al. 2007, the research on zakat payment have been reviewed for many years and a venue to extensive research that practical implementation. And despite the wide ranging development, the term of zakat payment or corporate zakat payment remain ambiguous and varies between different communities. Part of ambiguity originates from the shared perception related to the concept of corporate zakat, but this has not spared the specialized who approach the problems and also the factors that we can capture by using the software like Atlas DI. Because of that, they try to look, they try to apply the software of Atlas DI. And for your information, the Atlas DI actually is introduced by Thomas Mas from the German, and the Atlas DI was used to use this Atlas DI software, especially to look and to do the analysis in terms of qualitative data, or as we know, the qualitative data is more on phenomena and not in a figure. So the qualitative data in terms of, for example, the text, the graphic, in terms of the big data from interviews and so on. And by using this software, this association of the software have introduced the Atlas DI, and now is a version 9 is to help the researcher in doing the process to analyze the data in qualitative. And from this software, we have to explore the complex data, especially in terms of interview and also the phenomena. And by using this Atlas, we will explore, we will extract, we will compare and do the exploration, the data in flexibility and also in systematic. And we have a step to use the Atlas DI, especially in query data and also the data export for further statistical analysis. And we will do the systematic web, for example, the semantic, and also to do the thematic by using the application of Atlas DI. And from that, we will analyze the data, especially to do the thematics. Okay, next we move to the methodology. The scope of this study is corporate zakat, and as I already mentioned, the search is expanded during the term related to the scope of the study, in order to capture the sufficient articles that eligibility fall within the range. Because of that, the researcher try to use the search data and the search database by using the Scopus, the Scopus website or the Scopus engine. And as a result, synonym words were used to capture various terms represent the business and zakat, and corporate or company, or institution, firm, enterprise is the synonym, and entrepreneur can all use in the place of corporate or business zakat, and it's all synonymous of the zakat. The zakat use the zakah or Islamic tax or Islamic due, and also alms. And this method is used. Okay, this method is used by.
Ada 5 more minutes.
Okay, and the effort to analyze data, involving the qualitative research considered very difficult process, especially by required represent by the patient, but by using the LTI, by coding a process, we try to use, and it's easy to me and also to do this paper. Because of we will look and identify after review a paper by Scopus database, and this is the string in that Scopus, and the first initial search the 334, and from the 334 article from Scopus, some of the article were also discovered to be incomplete and full article inaccessible with broken links, and after the review, final paper to be reviewed as were reduced to 31 articles and upload to the document to LTI and analyze based on the year the publish, and the discussion pattern is based on the year, and the finalized to do the thematic is 31 article. Okay. So this is the finding and conclusion. Regarding to the finding and conclusion, okay. In the term of document, when we look here is the screenshot of Scopus document by year 2017 to 2022, and it shows that the document is the highest document for the articles is, or previous research is come from 2007 to 2022, which are 9 documents, and the rest is 2018 and 2019, and for the letters is 2022 by 4 documents. And regarding to the screenshot of Scopus document by country and territory, the article shows the result shows that the document of Malaysia is the more countries that provide a more research, and the Asian like Indonesia, the second, Yemen, India, Nigeria, and so on, and for the document by types, okay, this is document by types. It shows the type of publication, and the most sources come from conference paper. And for regarding to the subject areas, okay, more articles come from business management and accounting subject area. And next we move to the this work club generate by using LTI from 31 articles. It's very clear when we use the LTI to do the thematics. It's very clear the repetitive word being used in the literature, and the biggest word is a business zakat or perniagaan business zakat that I already show here. And after do the cloud, okay, we move to the screenshot for the thematic one. Okay, the researcher try to thematic to the 2 thematic. The first is try to look at what is the factors influence corporate zakat payment, and the second is the issues associated to the corporate zakat. And after run the data from the Atlas DI, okay,
1 minute more.
Okay, the main discussion, we look at the influence, the factors that influence of business zakat. It was consist of 22 papers. Okay, and we can identify the papers and the issue that's discussed in by the coding in as under the first thematic, and the second is issues associated to corporate zakat, and the researcher easy to look to identify the discussion on the issues regarded to corporate zakat. And for the conclusion, actually the purpose of this paper is to examine the trend of the 5 years literature reviews to look at the type of the thematic analysis and by using the Scopus database and search engine we use for this study to look the literature search and then the analysis by using the atlastic eye. And in terms of the previous study, it did not take into account the zakat collection from business sector. They are less well research about the study that use the thematic analysis on corporate zakat literature. However, the findings are significant enough to provide the zakat scholar with information of corporate zakat issues that could be included in the future research. And this study will hopefully provide insight to the zakat agencies and also the zakat agencies like the government, the administration, and also Muslim business owner that's important of paying zakat, particularly in the term of the impacts. And for the contribution of the study in terms of the practical implication, the study will hopefully to give insight to the zakat agency, including the government, administration, and the Muslim business owner to see the importance of paying, especially to the society impact and for the social implication. All the theme of the past study can become the foundation to improve the management of zakat and towards a better zakat collection in order to have more recipients to improve their life. So that's all for my presentation for this paper.
Okay, thank you very much to Madam Siti Mazia for your presentation. And next we will listen to the review by Dr. Dudik Siswantoro from Universitas Indonesia. And you have 10 minutes for your review. The screen is yours, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. I would like to share the comments.